Welcome back. Today on Dialed In DIY, I've got some hot ideas to help you prepare to repurpose your celebrations. Sometimes the aftermath of a good time is a lot of cleanup, but guess what? We can dial in the leftovers and come up with some great projects. Today, we're going to make a couple different builds using different fuels and different wicks and see what we can burn. In today's celebration warm-up projects, we're actually going to be using these thick little glass bottles and rubbing alcohol. I want to give you a bunch of options that you can choose from, but for this first build, I'm going to start with this salted cotton fabric that I'm going to use as a wick. Making these is actually really easy. Just get some warm water, add a whole bunch of salt until the salt doesn't dissolve anymore, soak the fabric in there, then roll it up and let it dry overnight until it's completely dry. It's going to be a little bit crunchy when you're done with it, so just soften it up a little bit by crunching it up and you're ready to go. I'm taking the side out of an aluminum can and I'm going to use that to make a wick holder at the top. I'm going to start off by wrapping this small little piece around a little screwdriver, but you could use a nail if you don't have a thin-barreled screwdriver like this to use. Once we're done, we're going to actually just wrap that around the top of the wick, and that's going to help defer the heat away from the bottle. Alcohol burns a little hotter, so I like just to keep the flame a little farther away from the glass. In this particular version that we're making, I'm also using the original cap from the bottle, but first you got to take that little inset out because that's kind of a plasticky material. Then I made a hole in the top of that cap and we're going to run our wick right down through that. Then we're going to set that aluminum sleeve into it as well. Once that's done, go back and find the edge of the aluminum that you wrapped around the wick and just kind of fan it out a little bit. This will end up keeping our little wick holder from getting pushed down inside the bottle or getting pulled up out of the bottle. Once you're done with this, go back and just test the fit with the cap to make sure you didn't bend it so much that it won't slip down into there. Once that's done, we're going to fill the bottle about halfway up with rubbing alcohol. Once you have everything fully reassembled, shake it up a little bit and make sure that you let your wick get fully soaked with the fuel. I get a little impatient and start these things a little too quick sometimes, and what ends up happening is you don't burn as much of the fuel as you do the wick itself. Your wicks will last a lot longer if your fuel is actually ready to be burned and coming up the wick. Yes, these projects can be quite a bit of fun, and what you make with them can be very entertaining. But please note, this is fire, and you should be very, very careful anytime that you have an open flame. If you feel that you can't behave responsibly while working on this project or using the results of the project, please make sure that you have some responsible supervision handy. As you can see, we've moved into the cooking oil fuel version of this particular video, and we're going to experiment with some different wicks. I've used fiberglass insulation as a wicking agent inside of some of my other projects before, like those camping stoves, so I thought I'd give it a shot here as well. I'm just going to cut out a little piece of aluminum from the side of that can to use as a wick stopping agent at the top of the bottle. Basically, all I'm doing is cutting out a little rectangle, bending it around the top of the bottle, then cutting out that notch in the middle so that we'll hold the wick in place. Then, let's go back and fill it about halfway up with some used cooking oil. Put the wick down inside and then slide on our little holder. Just like before, it's important that we wait until the wick is fully soaked, and just like before, I got impatient and I didn't wait as long as I probably should have. Either way, lit it up and it still works great. I typically do like using cooking oil better than rubbing alcohol for a simple candle or lamp because it's a little bit more safe to use. It won't burn quite as hot, and if it tips over, the oil itself isn't as likely to burn. It still could catch something on fire, but unlike the rubbing alcohol, it's not going to spread the flame quite as quick. Just to make sure I've covered all the bases, I also want to show you what it's like to use a salted cotton cloth wick inside the oil as well. The cotton cloth does a really good job of keeping the oil flowing quickly and easily so that you're really burning more of the oil and less of the wick itself. Your wicks will tend to last longer and you'll have a more consistent light this way. I like it. You can use these as candles on a table, inside, outside, or set some up as little mini tiki torches. They work great, and they can be a fun part of your celebration. Over the years, I've had a lot of fun experimenting with different kinds of burners, candles, lamps, and more. So, if you're looking for some more projects, hey, check out my video links in the description below. Or perhaps you're looking for some way to make some extra noise to ramp up your celebration. Guess what? I've got you covered there too. Check out the links for some great, loud air horns that you can make out of other repurposed materials. Thank you for watching. Please press like and then subscribe. There will be more Dialed In DIY to come.